Hi, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Hubler Auto Group Coach's Corner. I'm your host, Thomas Crow, and with me today is my neon green collared friend, Mr. Brian Powers.
Hello, I'm Brian Powers. And with us today, in the past, we've had very special guests, but today we have just a guest, and he's here with us to discuss the girls' volleyball season. We have assistant head coach, Mr. Craig Harvey.
Hey, thank you guys. Thanks for having me out today. Appreciate it.
All right, how are you?
I am doing excellent. Thank you for asking.
Good. So, talk about this season so far, and just kind of what you've gone through, how it's looked.
We've had some up and down parts of the season for sure. So we finished second in the league, one win away from taking the league championship. We are probably middle in the road as far as record goes, but most of our losses have come to top-tiered teams in Bloomington South and Roncalli and Providence, Columbus East, who's also, I think, honorable mention, and then we have two tough losses to Center Grove as well that we hope to get back in the sectional championship. So,
yeah. So, this season you have a new head coach. Obviously there are an incredible amount of new regulations due to COVID, and just due to all the mandates that you have to do. Tell me how. Basically just all those mandates have affected your team so far.
Well, we missed out. A lot of our kids play in the club volleyball circuit, so they lost out on the end of their club season. So from March until June, they would have been playing volleyball in the club scene, and then we would have picked up right with open gyms coming off in June. And so that has changed us kind of drastically. We've had to push things back. We have an interesting mix. We have a freshman starter. We have a couple juniors and some seniors. So we have a lot of newbies on the court that are kind of trying to find their match. And so losing part of that early season stuff, I think, has kind of delayed us a little bit going forward. So there's that piece. And then we have the new piece where the coaching staff was a complete turnover. I'm the only holdover. So we have a new head coach, new JV coach, new freshman coach. We also have an additional varsity assistant coach that's there as well. So we're at a completely new staff. So you have that combined with the new regulations and kind of getting that delayed start that kind of set us back a little bit.
So you mentioned you've got a new coach, Jess Admire, correct?
Yes, Jess Admire Giles.
Jess Admire Giles.
Yes,
I'm sorry, Jess. And Mr. Jess. So how's that been, the transition, and is she a first year head coach?
Yeah, so she is. She coached our freshman program last year, kind of came in last minute to step into that role. And so she has a wealth of volleyball knowledge. She played here at Franklin, was an all-state player here, went on to play at Butler and IU. So she's just kind of learning the nitty-gritty stuff as far as being a head coach and all the paperwork, the organization aspects that are associated with that, and just kind of running a program versus being a player or being just a member of the coaching staff. So there's been a lot that she's had to learn on the job, but she's been doing an excellent job staying up on that. Being younger, she comes in with a lot more energy. That maybe some of us older coaches that maybe we don't have because we've been around the game.
You've been beat down.
Yes,
right?
yes.
She's still got the young enthusiasm.
Yes. She's still passionate about it. The rest of us who've been at it, this is my 18th year coaching, so we've struggled a little bit there. And but she's done a great job coming in with that energy and high level of enthusiasm that can kind of maybe help us move forward as we continue to work every day in and day out. So.
Yeah, so not necessarily a high-flying record, only 10-10, but you sound very confident in your team. A loss in the county championship, but you said that you want to go back out and get Center Grove in the sectionals. So what so far has just given you the confidence in your team?
Well, every match that we've been in. So there hasn't been a match that I look at and say, we couldn't have won that match. And so each match, whether it's the loss to Roncalli when we went down or playing Providence, which is one of the premier volleyball programs in the state, we lost to them by a couple points and had our opportunity to beat them. So when you can hang with teams like those two teams that are some of the better teams of Bloomington South, we feel really confident about. We lost the first regular season match against Center Grove. We lost in 4, all close sets at county championship. I think it was like 26-28 in the second set. The first set was extremely close as well. So, we were right on the cusp of kind of taking us to that next level and maybe winning a sectional championship. So I do have full confidence that we can do that, and we will do that. So.
Who are some of your key players? I don't want to. I know that's kind of putting you on the
Yeah.
spot. And
No,
being
you're
like,
okay.
Wait a second,
You're
Coach.
okay.
You didn't mention
Yes.
me.
Well, Cammie Kelsey is probably our returning kind of star player, so to speak. She just hit a plateau last week in the county championship, which is 1,000 kill, which in the volleyball world, the 1,000 kill, 1,000 dig, 1,000 assist is kind of a big deal. So she'll be recognized at Thursday's last home game with her game ball, 1,000th kill. So she probably leads the team in kills. Chloe Hoy has done a nice job on the defensive side. Haley Halderman is doing a great job setting for us. Volleyball is just a different perspective because you have to put 6 people on the court in order to kind of maintain. So our defensive backs, our front row offensive players, and Lauren and Scarlett and Megan and Lindsay are doing an excellent job, and then we've had Paris Johnson came in this year to add to Jenna and Chloe on the defensive side of the ball. So that's going to help us hopefully continue to move forward, and as we get more confident and comfortable with one another, as the season ends, we'll be right there. So. Yeah.
So probably about 6 months ago or so, you probably had a very, at least a pretty tentative idea of who your team was going to be and what your roster was going to look like. Is there anybody on the team who has kind of taken you by surprise and had a very good season when you might not have necessarily expected it?
All the kids have really stepped up into their roles that they needed to be. Now, when you're coming in, like a freshman, Scarlett Kimbrell has come in. Obviously we didn't know what the 8th grade group was going to bring in with them. We had heard that they were a very talented group. So she's had to step into a role as a starting middle hitter, which is not an easy task to do as a middle, because you've got the most movement and some of the most game IQ readiness that you have to have as a middle. So she's been able to kind of elevate that and take that to the next level, and she has progressively gotten better as each game has gone by. And so that term freshman, I wouldn't say is there anymore, which at the beginning of the season, making some of those freshman mistakes, that now she's doing pretty well. So.
Did you ever get out there and play? Kind of show them that the old man still got it?
I don't think they want to see the old man still got it anymore after 2 foot surgeries and a shoulder surgery, but that's why we have the younger coaching staff. So we let the younger coaching staff get in there because they can still hang and maybe compete a little bit more than I can. The only thing the old person gets is smarter, and I can place the ball a little bit better, but as far as the power hitting isn't going to happen. So.
Yeah, so looking ahead to sectionals in about a week or two, who is your draw, and then what is your path to say to what will be a championship?
So we felt very fortunate in our draw. We opened up with Shelbyville. We beat them in 3 earlier this month, like 2 weeks ago, I think we beat them. We played really well against them, and so it didn't seem like it was really very close. But Shelbyville is well coached. They'll have their outside hitters back and be ready to go. I have full confidence that we can beat them as long as we play at the level that we're capable of playing. So that's who we're going to open with. Our second round, if we win that game against Shelbyville, will be against Whiteland. Which we haven't had any trouble with Whiteland when we played them early in the season. They're significantly down from where they've maybe been, and then assuming we would play Center Grove in the championship. So we have 3 matches to get there, and wouldn't see CG until the last Saturday of fall break, so at Franklin Central. So, yeah.
I've always wondered, are there like plays in volleyball? Because I see on like beach volleyball, they're like pointing at stuff. So
so there actually are offensive sets that you can run. Usually it's communicated between the setter and the hitter. Sometimes you'll see the setter pull their shirt out and they'll be flashing the numbers and the signs. That gives an indication of what she wants the hitters to run. Usually the setter is kind of like the quarterback on the floor. They're the ones that are running the offense, calling the offensive sets, deciding where the ball is going to go. But we have our outside hitters have plays that we run, our middles have plays, and our right sides also have plays, and then we have our back row attacks too. You also have, you'll see Coach Palmer on the bench. She has a clipboard up and she'll be holding numbers. So when we're serving, she's giving a serving zone to our servers so that they know where to place the ball at, where we want them serving to.
Yeah, so earlier you mentioned that Cammie didn't set a record, but Cammie surpassed the 1,000 mark.
Yes.
Of digs?
Kills,
okay.
Kills.
So I understand that kills is kind of like scoring the point.
Yes.
And so comparatively to say, like the 1,000-point club in basketball, how did those like kind of compare?
Very comparable. So it's kind of really the same exact thing. Getting 1,000 points and getting 1,000 kills is really a huge plateau over the course of your career. So she earned that milestone, and it's the first 1,000 kills since I've been here. This is my 6th year at Franklin. So she's the first one to get it. In my time here, I'm sure there's been many, many more. So yeah.
Well, all right. So, Mr. Harvey, we really appreciate you stopping by. We wish you luck in your upcoming games and then upcoming into sectionals.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah. So for our assistant volleyball coach, Craig Harvey, for my co-host, Mr. Brian Powers, we really appreciate you guys stopping by. And this has been the Hubler Auto Group Coach's Corner.
Hubler is proud to be the official sponsor of Franklin Athletics. Score massive savings on all your favorite brands. Plus get our 10-year, 200,000-mile warranty included. For all auto needs, just click drivehubler.com. Let's go Grizzly Cubs!